Fabulous mother love. And in the building with me, I told you, not a figment of my imagination. This is my crazy. This here is prime black and full effect. What's up with you, baby?
Always. It's a humble honor to be with you today on this Friday. It's a beautiful day outside.
He just saying that because we just bailed him out. He ain't fooling nobody.
I know. $5 bail money. That's all we need.
And I told you, don't I tell you I got your back always?
Yes, you do.
I do.
Likewise.
Because why? See, I saw that. So I wanted to she's either a rapper or a singer. I'm not familiar. I mean, I know who she is. The young lady Doja Cat.
Oh.
And she about big as this piece of paper right here. Bless her heart. And she has an older brother. He's 30. Okay. And it has come to the people's attention that her older brother also has a son. And the fact that their mother has to file a restraining order against her own son. Mm-hmm. He has allegedly choked her, verbally abused her, just all kind of things, bleeding money from her. And, he gets upset if he don't feel like he's getting his fair share of the money and he's not even out there. His mother has said that she believes that he's bipolar and he's acting out and he needs help. Do you think, I think you need help when you think it's going to be all right for you to put your hands around your mother's throat? That's a deal breaker. And before we go any further, speaking of mothers, what does this special day mean to you?
Today is Denise Johnson's birthday, born day. Happy birthday, Denise Johnson.
She at home?
She is at home in the sky, and she is looking down on all of us, and she is spreading nothing but love and joy to everyone out there.
What do you miss most about it?
That joy, that humility, just like you just spoke on a very confusing, tragic situation between family members. I want to tell people out there, life is very, very short, and we are only hateful because we are not grateful. So I want you to hug the people that you love.
And you do, and don't be afraid.
We got to stop arguing. We got to stop being so vicious with each other.
It takes too much energy.
Yeah, we're only hateful because we're not grateful. And I think we need to change the pendulum of all of the direction of our energy, because we're operating at such a low frequency and vibration that we're so fidgety and angst to be reactive to so many emotional things. And we just like Chris Rock, it's like we're having selective outrage, subjective and selective outrage. That we got to be understanding and mindful that we are under attack, and people's energy, especially with your family and friends, is getting too close to home. And we got to recognize that, this happened during, the civil rights movement, where people, when we just lost Martin Luther King, shout out to happy birthday to that,
Right, so exactly.
There's a lot of things going on in this Capricorn energy that are going on. And so to see that's a very unfortunate, because we need our families to come together. People don't argue when they're holding hands.
They
both
don't.
hands.
You can't.
You got to hold both hands.
You can't.
So I send nothing but positive, joyful energy and love to everybody out there who may be going through troubled times within themselves and with their loved ones and in their environment and situations. I want you to understand that you have to dig deeper than yourself is allowing right now to be able to bring out the best and the greatness, not only in you, but the surrounding world around you. So,
shout out to all the high energy people. Shout out to all the high energy souls and spirits. We have got to begin to form and formulate our attack plan or our protection plan. We don't want to be attacked. We don't want to attack anybody. We want to make sure that the energy that we are using is all for the positive, just in us and in our communities, and especially families. We are so segmented right now. You have a bunch of kids. One live in Texas, two live in New York, one live in who knows where, and you're trying to get everybody together. Sometimes it's impossible, and then sometimes you just feel like don't want to be bothered with them too. We got to be prepared for that. Well, happy birthday, and happy birthday to all the Capricorns that are out there, and just know you don't fool with a bull vine. No. We got who's we could walk up the side of a mountain this way. So don't get it twisted. Just because we smile pretty everything, you don't want to fool with one another.
Nobody right now.
Nobody right now.
So I think it's just a very good point that we understand that the times that we're living in right now, as we sit here and things are going on in the world around us, be mindful that it doesn't matter if you have $1 billion in your pocket or you have nothing. Nothing matters more than the present moment. The present moment is a very special gift, and we must much more cherish it and don't take it for granted. I think everybody needs to
could be
understand that.
gone in an instant.
So
I told you this story about one of my girlfriends many years ago. She said this is when kids could buy cigarettes, and the store was just across the street, just right. I mean, it wasn't even a big street. It was one, and he just wasn't. It's one of them kind of streets that doesn't have a lot of markings in it because it was in a not a prominent neighborhood, and people were just robbing Peter to pay Paul to keep their stuff going. She sent her 8-year-old son. She told him, baby, go across the street and give me a pack of cigarettes. Go across the street, get the pack of cigarettes. Walking back across the street, a drunk driver came around the corner and hit this child so hard with his car that when he landed, it's almost like his body just split open. She said, and she saw this. Because she could look right out the window. She could look right out the window, and she saw her child murdered by a drunk driver. I mean, that's a horrible thing to have happen to anybody, and it really did hurt. It really did a number on her. I mean, for like almost a year, she couldn't even get out the bed. We had to go over there and make sure we got her bathed, and we made sure she got fed, and we was working in shifts. So I worked the mid shift because I worked early in the morning. I went to work at 6 and I was off by 10. So at 10:30, I could be at her house until the next till like one of her other relatives came, and she didn't want for nothing. And she kept saying, "I owe you so much. I owe you so much." I said, let me tell you what you owe me. You owe me to be healed. You owe me and you ain't got to owe me nothing. No. You owe it to yourself. Yeah. And her son, I mean, he was just such a bright light. Silly as all get out. Oh, and he had the smoothest chocolate skin. He looked like they just poured Hershey syrup all over.
That's interesting that people don't want to owe themselves. They rather stand in the customer service line for everybody else.
But then,
yeah.
And I was like, you got to get yourself well. Yeah. And she did. And she said she couldn't. She wanted to move. She actually moved off the street because for almost a year, she did not look out the window. She couldn't hardly get out of bed. We had to go over and dress her. And she said, I don't think I would have never had a friend that would have did that to me, did that for me. And I was looking at her like you know what? You better be glad I love you because I wanted to bite her in her forehead talking stupid.
But that goes to show our moral compass and who are you outside of your badge, and love is an action. Love is a verb. You must show it to express it. And the times that we're living in now, arguing and fighting and things like that, there are definitely attacks on people's emotional, mental, and spiritual health right now. So it's always good to take a speed check, take a pit stop, go out, get in nature, go get in some water. I know it's cold outside, do whatever you can, find out things, reach out. You have a great source in Mother Love to be able to get all of these resources and, chat, get yourself involved in conversations. If you don't know, ask somebody. Ask somebody.
Like I told them, I don't know everything, but I know everything else.
Yeah. Just know not to hurt each other. Just know.
And not to hurt yourself. Yeah. That's the self-preservation is the first law of nature. I will never forget that. One of my uncles told me that. Yeah. And he said, if you don't take care of yourself, niece, how you going to be able to handle somebody else? Yeah. And I was like a teenager when he told me that. Wow. But then I had a big teenage, breakthrough. So, and it got me when I was like 15 years old, and then 2 years later when I was 17, y'all know people that know me, y'all know I'm living on house money. That even the doctors told my mother, they said, well, if y'all some praying people, what y'all need to do is gather your people around, because I'm telling you, if we cut her open, she probably gonna bleed to death. If we don't cut her open, she probably gonna bleed to death. And my mother and them came in and laid hands on me. They didn't even give me a hospital room. They had a bag, and they used to come in like these like brown wax, felt like they had wax on, and they had a toe tag on it, looked like for the laundry. You see that when the laundry had a big tag like this. It had my name, my last name, my first name, my middle initial, the day I was born, D.O.B., and the date of my death. And I was like, the date of my death? That's what they was waiting on. That's what they told my mom. I wasn't gonna make it. My mother turned around. I told her I had an out-of-body experience, and she believed me, because she said the only way you could have even heard or seen that, you could not be present in the shell body. and I saw my mother, my grandmother, 3 of my aunts, my uncles was in there. All of them was in there, and they was laying hands on me. Wow. And when the doctor came in and took my mother, she didn't even stop laying hands on me. She doing her thing, and they're doing their vibrations and everything. And she said, "Oh, you don't know my child. Matter of fact, this is not my child. This is God's child, and you ain't got no plan for him."
Hey, you gotta put them hands to work. And it's amazing you say that, because I remember a time where I walked into the hospital and saw my mother sick. I'm talking about like dying, and they had tubes all in her. And for 21 days, we would go up to the hospital and laying hands. People, I understand there's power in your hands, power in your words, there's power in all of your essence.
There's power in your faith.
We have enough energy in us to power up the whole city, so to see, our loved ones in these type of conditions and stuff like that, we have to understand that love is a very powerful energy, and we must not take it for granted. And so to see anybody in the circumstances where, you're in trouble and, the people come to your rescue, we got to understand we need each other. We really do, And so to hear about stories about families fighting over each other, I'm not married. I'm single. I don't have any kids. My mother is gone. Happy birthday. She's up in heaven right now. My father is gone. My grandmother is gone, and my great-grandfather is gone. So when you look about what is the purpose in you walking, you have to understand your divine destiny, and because people will lose themselves and they feel like a failure, and you get so wrapped up in this rat race and this matrix that you don't know what is important. We start devaluing the things that are really truly priceless and valuable. And so I don't want you to get too confused. And if you do get confused, take a step back, slow down, homie, listen, because God is trying to tell you something.
And he doesn't make mistakes. I don't care.
No. Well, none of you.
What God you are serving. Know that there's a higher force. Know that there's a much greater power that you can actually plug into. It's like a power surge. Yeah. You have all those little things that you can, like all of the software with the computer and everything, and all these little electrical plugs. You got one power source plugged into the wall that can generate energy, and all this mechanical stuff right here. Hey, Janie Davis, she sends happy birthday to all us Capricorn. Yep. Janie Davis is there. She said happy birthday to your mother.
Oh yeah.
Fellow Capricorn. And I ain't gonna mess your name up. Brian. Okay, wait a minute. Now you gonna make me guess. Well, anyway, baby, thank you very much.
Barin.
Okay.
Dele.
That must be somebody because it just
I'm just good with we gotta be able to connect and get them tongues rolling.
Right, that's it. And you have to see. I like it because you can feel the vibration, and the human body can make some odd noises.
Yes.
You can do some crazy stuff. And we just want to let you know that you're not in this by yourself. And I forgot to put my wig on. I just looked up.
You look amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yes. I remember the first time I saw my mother with her hair gone. I had just finished running a track meet, and I dusted everybody in the 100 meters. And my grandmother said, "Hey, your mom's in the hospital." And that was the first time I saw her with all of her hair gone. All her hair gone. And I had my whole long hair at the time. It was like the mystical tarantula thing, And I saw her like that, and that was I just cut it all off as paying homage and giving my mom her roses for being as strong as she was and heroic to be able to have that strength, and that did not signify her
losing her crown. She did not lose her crown.
Yeah, that wasn't something that she, and that's a lot of things that we deal with, with a lot of our women who feel like, oh man, I lost my breast, or I lost my hair, or anything like that. And then they look at the situation and it's like, no, you're still beautiful.
Period. One of my girlfriends, one of my dear sister friends, she was diagnosed with cancer. And she had dreadlocks, like way down her back. And they told her that, going through her chemotherapy and, all the processes that she would have to go through, she was probably going to lose her hair. And she said, because a wig is an accessory for me. To match my outfit, whatever. And she said, you know what? They told me I was going to lose my hair. She said, well, since I'm going to lose my hair, I'm going to cut my dreads off. I got a couple of her dreads. I don't know. It's like, it's not a fetish as much as it is. Did I just say me and fetish in the same sentence? Don't be looking at me like that.
Say she know where I'm at. We're going to stop. We're going to keep it classy.
One guy that's on the radio with me, Cool TLC, he says, okay, this show is going to Y21794. Children, please plug your ears up. Adults, please remove them from the room. Yeah. I am not like, but anyway, I have my son. I have my son's baby teeth. I still have those. I have a pair of shoes and a whole outfit that he wore when he was 2. Yeah. And I have two of my sisters. Cause she had her hair in braids. I got 2 of her braids. And who else? I got some of your hair. I got some of my husband's hair. I got some of my son's hair. I have some of my hair.
My hair looked like that pigeon nest. Stuff that you just. But that's interesting that
it's a piece of people. Yeah. It's a piece of the people that I love, and I just wanted to have them around. And I'm not
mad at that because I have like my mom's picture in my wallet. She goes around with me. My grandmother's ideas in my wallet. So these are beautiful things that our people cherish as we go along, because we don't want to lose that energy connection that we do have with each other, because that is very important.
And please know that we do have a connection. What do the people say? We are only 6 degrees separated from family, and then I found out we were doing our this is before the DNA test came along, that you could do it over the counter, as it were. And they were wanting to get DNA from us. So we, sent in the DNA to one of my cousins. She was leading the charge. And come to find out, we have a lot of Irish blood in us.
Yeah.
And explain the freckles and the red hair. Yeah, because I was a little girl, literally, my hair it wasn't red, it wasn't brown, it was more like an orange color, and that's why my mother and them used to go, you red handkerchief head heifer. Now, why got to be all, why you got to add all them adjectives into this?
Good adjectives.
I'm just like, and they could words. I mean, my mother could cuss you out from an amazing grace to a floating opportunity. I was like, okay. And then I had to find out what that meant. Yeah. And then they would say stuff like, girl, I'll slap you into the middle of next week. Can it just be like, can you just slap me this Sunday? Yeah. Do I have to go into the middle of next week?
Can you put it on layaway for me?
Yeah, can I pay for that slapping? And I knew we're going to go from real serious. No, we're telling you stuff that we know what's going on. I'm sharing stuff with you that I know what's going on. Yeah. I've been on this planet for quite some time. I have wreaked my havoc and run them up. Okay, that's when I was young. Now that I'm a seasoned citizen, I can wreak new havoc and run them up in a new way. Hey, Cheryl Wilson. Hey, Cheryl Wilson. I know that's Florida. That's Florida.
Oh yeah.
She was she was she and her sister were identical twins. I had never seen identical twins before. Yeah. Never hadn't seen. It was like, wow.
I got twins, 2 twins somewhere.
Okay, twins only come in 2.
Really?
Yeah, people always say, I got 2 twins. So then what, you got 3 triplets? Twins only come in 2, triplets only come in 3.
Then why don't you just say twin?
Why?
Instead of twins. Is it a goose or a geese? Is it a moose or a meese?
No, there's no plural for moose. A moose is a moose, and a bunch of moose is a bunch of mooses, or a bunch of moose. We jack up the English language, and people talking about learning Chinese is difficult. Okay, try to learn American English. And then we have different kind of American English. We got the King's English, we got the American English, then we got our broken English. And remember when one of the presidents wanted to make Ebonics a language?
Ufe, Tufe, Afe, something, all that.
We was like, it might have been.
But I ain't mad at that, because that would give like African Americans some significant language of our own, where we can actually hold on and cherish.
We do. We do. Okay. And then we can see the outside forces, when that have no idea what we're talking about, so they make up their own thing. Mm-hmm. Remember when 2-term President Barack Hussein Obama, him and his wife gave each other a fist bump, and the crazy Republican said, oh, that must be some kind of gang sign.
No, we got there's gestures across the whole world.
But for them to even say something that asinine as adults, that lets you know you're really not in tune with your constituents.
But that's most of America, because most of Americans have not even left this country. They're the bird inside of the cage that doesn't want to even open the door if they have the possibility or the ability to open it.
Yeah.
So don't have the wherewithal to actually go out and experience more of this world and this land, and get different perspectives from different walks of life, that you're going to be closed-minded.
Completely. And you won't, I mean, just like and it almost seems like they're playing the game gossip, where you whisper in one person's ear, and they come and it's not even the same story that you went out and you never
Johnny ate apples.
And nobody ever said anything about Johnny or the apple. And we will change the narrative as we go along to fit our needs. And oftentimes that's not correct, and that's why we're misunderstood. Even in the Bible, in the book of Acts, I know some stuff about that. One of the things was when they were all sitting at the table, then the flame came on them and said, you will be confounded because you won't be able to speak the same language anymore. And the one language that we all speak body language. You could say whatever you want to say. Y'all say when we doing our head like this, oh, we the sassy black woman, or we the angry black woman. Now I'm saying that because most of the time I got a crook in my neck, so I need to do all this, carrying on. And people need to learn to understand one another. I'm not saying you got to agree. No. I'm not saying you got to take the same path. All I'm saying is be smart enough and astute enough and compassionate enough to be quiet enough to hear another person's perspective. Now you can get back in the car and cuss. That was a crazy SOB, a son of a biscuit eater. What the? But you don't do that. You gotta stop and listen.
Everybody still got to show up at the line,
and wait your turn.
Ugly comes in all colors. So at the end of the day, I get
he be trying to kill me.
I get it every time. But I'm just saying, like, we have to understand that there's so much more that we have to learn. Our ego has been our amigo for a long time, and I think we need to humble thy heart and realize that we have been disconnected in more ways and capacities right now than we think we are connected by technologically advanced things, devices. We need to understand that we can't be so addicted to our devices right now, and we are sheep without no shepherd. And so, hey, people.
See. That's when that's when you know that when you see the gap, you will have to stand in the gap. Because, and nobody ever said it was going to be easy.
No.
Nobody ever said you could just breeze through a gauntlet. No, that's why it's called a gauntlet, because you're going to get gaunt going all the way through. That's just my
flanked off.
All the time. And you dodging and weaving and, they throwing stuff at you. And what are you going to do? That's why you got to understand the power of preparation. You got to have the power of communication. You need to be able to know how to speak to people, and I said I wasn't going to do it. I'm not walking into any office or any appointment pretending to be somebody that I'm not. What you see is what you get. She'll know that her and my mama and her mom and them, they were best friends. I was telling you, that was the first time I ever saw identical twins, and it was like, that, wait a minute, how did that? And I'm just a kid. I'm like, wait, they got the same thing.
And only parents can tell them apart for the most part.
And the twins that we grew up, and we grew up with a lot of twins, and that can set you apart if you don't. I was talking about this the other day. This one lady who has nieces that are twins comes over her brother's house, and she refuses to call her nieces by their name. She just called them twins. She said, but you can't group them together like that. They were born together. They look alike. Okay, but they're two separate individuals. And it was like 3 sets of guy twins and 2 sets in one family. And there was a couple of fraternal twins, brother and sisters. And so you have to treat them like individuals. And she said, well, they too little. What I got to, differentiate between them, they twins. And she said, if you cannot come in my home and respect our rules and regulations, then you're not coming over here anymore. She said, well, what's the big deal? You need to get over it. I'll call them by their name when they get grown. Well, now a lot of that psychological damage has been instilled in them. And they'll feel like they can't, cut the twin bond. And they will never do that. Twins can feel stuff. Sisters and brothers can feel stuff. You can sense it. When you're close to somebody, you can sense it when you're in tune, because your vibrations are high, and you're coming, and you can feel the energy and the kinetic energy coming through. And they know. One of my cousins flew out here, and this is a woman, God rest her soul. She would get on the airplane, and the doctors would say, you shouldn't be flying like that. You got this wrong with you. You got that wrong with you. And she would say, okay, yeah, and what? God is my pilot. I ain't got to worry about none of this. So she comes out here to visit me. I don't know she's coming. She done surprised me. She said, girl, I'm at the airport, because I always say, you come to all you gotta do is come to the airport, tell me you're there, we'll come and get you. My husband went out to get her. We went out shopping. And when we picked her up, she had it looked like a little pocketbook, or just a little, was just a small bag. And I said, that's all you bought? Because I was waiting for the luggage. I said, is that all you bought? How long you gonna be standing? She said, oh, not long. Not long. And she and I went to one of the, it's not at the big department store. I can't call the name of Ross. We were in Ross. I'm in the dressing room, and she's standing outside the door, handing me dresses and taking them back. And my sister called, and one of my younger sisters called, and she said, and I asked my cousin, I said, well, why you only bring us the small amount of clothes? She said, because I ain't gonna be here that long. She called. My sister called, told me our other sister had just passed away, and I was like, who is this? You ain't funny. This is not funny. And I caught her voice. I was like, girl, and she has a very distinct voice. I'm like, girl, what's wrong with you calling up talking about she dead? She said, I'm telling you. And you could hear her screaming in the phone. I'm telling you, she's dead. She's dead. She's dead. And I'm like, my cousin she came into the door, helped me get my clothes back on. It was like I was like caught in a time warp. I had just talked to her.
Yeah.
I had just talked to her.
Yeah.
How could she be dead? And she didn't sound sick. Her voice was the same. And she said, and that's all she kept screaming. That's all I kept hearing. And this is when you could buy a plane ticket up at the gate. Remember, before the whole craziness from 9/11. So we got home, and I was telling my husband, and he said, don't worry about it. I got you. I got both of y'all. And she bought a round trip ticket to leave the next day. That's when we left. And she said, I knew Spirit of God told me, get on the airplane and go get your cousin, because she gonna need you. And I would have just been just a big, and they always call me the strong one in the family. She got ice water in her veins, and she ain't none of that. I was like, I told y'all I was allergic to BS from a long time ago. They didn't know that's ice water in my vein. But that's when you could feel that kinetic energy. And she said, I said, weren't you concerned about your health? She said, not in the least. And we rolled back nonstop, and we had a party. I think we might have been the ones that came up. Well, I know I came up with, celebrating life instead of mourning death. So let's celebrate. And we had a soiree for my mother that if she wasn't there, she would have loved it.
Yeah.
She loved it anyway. She had made all of her plans. And that's another thing I think is important for people to understand. Slap happy behind is not going to live forever. Get you a life insurance policy. Invest in your future and the future of your children. Don't leave that burden. And my mother said, she wrote down all her instructions, and I said, well, why don't you give it to your sister? Your oldest, she said, because them chicks gonna fall completely apart.
And we used to have that as part of our family structure, which having life insurance policies. Families back then had enough money to make sure that they buried you. And I think we got away from that structure, when the separation in the home happened. And, it's the most dangerous place to be is between a helpless person and a dollar. So when you got somebody who's starving and they've been jealous of whoever had passed away, and they've been clamoring and have, I discovered it. I take claim to this person. I don't know them. We've never been family, but I feel like I should get, and so
I should get a cut.
I should get a cut in the slice. And so, when we think about things like that, if you get materialistic and superficial and that vanity kicks in, that energy is like, man, what was the last memory that you had with that person? Because you getting that call like, man, she's gone, and you think about like, dang, did I have an argument with that person? Did I at least get a hug? Do I remember their smell? Because I remember getting a call about my mom. Shout out to her, happy birthday today. I remember getting a call on August 30th on a Tuesday morning. And for me, it was just like the last memories or the moments that we have with people. We cannot oversee that and take that for granted, because if you do, it's like that psychologically comes back and backfires on people, and they start going into this quicksand and going into depression where they're like, man, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to turn because, I argued with this person and, I was so mad. And now, and that's why I feel like your show, that's why I feel like your show was just so amazing because it gave people the opportunity to actually ask for forgiveness and reconciliation. And we are missing that aspect in our life right now. So I want people to understand, like, I appreciate you so much because as a kid, I remember seeing this show, Forgive or Forget. I know a lot of you out there remember this show. And I think it's very important and valuable that we recognize that love is such a powerful thing and an important thing that we need in this time, especially in 2024, because it's already been off to a crazy start. And we need to recognize that love is the only thing that's going to be able to get us through.
That's what Dr. King said. The only thing that's going to, outdo love, outdo hate is love. We got to learn to love one another. And it's easy to love people that you like, to really show how deep and compassionate your heart is, your spirit is to love the people that are hard to love. I ain't saying you got to be in their face all the time. I ain't saying they got to be, they got to be the top person on your people list. Just know that they too deserve love, because you think about it. People that are filled with that kind of hate, they had that hate poured into them. Children come born perfect. They come perfect. A baby can understand any language they are raised in. You could take a black child, take that child to China, and that child will only know Chinese. I always wondered how dogs could understand foreign languages. Because if you got an American dog, your dog understand American language.
They have other senses that we don't have. We have the ability to have wherewithal and willpower and opposable thumbs. So, like, we don't have fur to be able to keep us warm. We don't have extra fat. We don't have 4 stomachs like.
Well, some of us got extra fat and 4 or 5 stomachs. I'm just telling you.
I got a stomach. I will eat anybody under the table. All that food goes to here. It don't go to none of this. So. But yeah,
dude got a hollow leg. I'm telling you, and I know and you eat slow. Most men, just wolf their food down. You enjoy a plate of food, and at first I was like, he ain't gonna eat all of that.
So I gotta be impressed.
I don't think he can't eat all of that. And I was like, he ate all of that. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
And I'll ask him, well, what do you want to eat? I don't care. Like our grandkids, what you want? I don't care.
Surprise me.
Yeah, whatever you make, we gonna eat it. And if we see you eating it, we gonna want something too. I can make a fried crap sandwich, get a cold glass of spit, throw some ice in it, and if they saw me drink, they're like, can I have a swallow? I'm like, this is cold pee. No, it ain't. You ain't gonna drink no cold pee. You just say stuff like that. And I don't like eating after kids either. Little kids, they leave floaters in your food, in your drink. You say, let me have a swallow, and you get a swallow, and some of them could just chug it down. Can you chug a bottle down?
Yeah, sure.
Told you, hollow leg. Got big feet, long legs, and he could just eat and belch and be like, okay, what else?
I can hug people twice.
That's
how long my arms are. I slap people.
You so silly. You said you gonna hug people twice.
But man, people need to hold on to that love. I think it's very important. Do. So I think, like you just spoke on right now, like my neighbor is a 49ers fan. So I gotta love that neighbor. I gotta love my brother and my sister who are 49ers fans. So at the end of the day, that's just a little piece of the spectrum of how much we got this love-hate relationship between everything we do.
See,
I know she knew I was gonna segue into the love.
You always segue into the love, but I'm telling you, see, I don't even know why I don't keep him in the corner someplace. He is a Green Bay Packer. That's why they call fans fanatic. It's short for fanatic. You are fanatical. They got merchandise that the NBA, the NHL, the National Baseball League, all these leagues that have all this merch. And I'm in that group as well. We got I'm from Cleveland, and we are Browns fans till we die. We are Buckeye fans till we die. And look, he got all this ever. No, you did not. No, you did not. No, he did not.
I had to come show some love.
Oh, you are too
love with mother love.
Go
You didn't get that
from me. You didn't get that from me.
No, I didn't.
Okay, that's worse.
I'm not sure.
That even. Wait. Okay, see now y'all just, that's what they call y'all fanatics.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it?
We showing up.
Now you looking like Mr. T did. Okay,
we showing up.
He see, I don't even know.
We had to come to everybody's house today. See, I'm coming to my love house to show some love. We're gonna go ahead and do that. We're bringing the keys out because we're gonna lock everybody down.
Oh,
we
yeah.
got the grip rules. So, no, I just had to show my love.
Look, wait a minute. Love, you. Oh, that's not a simple love. You are a fanatical about that. I mean, he got Green Bay, and you know who love you, right?
Yeah.
My grandson, the youngest grandson, he a Packers fan.
We're giving out slipper spankings.
I was like,
Green Bay slipper spankings. Green Bay slipper spankings. I got my pajamas on. We're gonna sit here and relax until we get there.
Okay, Green Bay Packer fan.
I know. No.
Yeah, that's all right. Look, you can be a fanatic. I'm an Ohio State Buckeye for life.
Go ahead, Bucks.
A Cleveland Brown fan for life. I hate the Ravens. They just sneaked out in the middle of the night from Cleveland and came, and I just knew they was gonna get the beat, do their thing again. And no. And we're the little tiny violin. I gotta find my little tiny violin. Okay, so now that we're back on the silly town, the Browns fans for life. I was James to even though she live in Phoenix now. Yeah, okay, yeah, right. Hey, Joanne, hi, baby. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, y'all. What? No,
I keep it up there.
Janie liked the Browns. She from Cleveland too.
Okay.
See, now even coming out here, and my husband, I used to think it was sacrilege when we lived in Cleveland. Because we had Cleveland Brown paraphernalia. When they made it to the playoffs, we was in our dining room making dog bones, painting them brown and orange with the stripes. I was on a detail kick. We had the kids paint them. We made quite a bit of money. We sold them for $5 a piece. And I'm like, they will buy a painted dog bone for $5. We sold out.
America is fun.
We did not have we didn't even, somebody wanted to probably try to take the box. And we went, and I was like, and thank you. It was very well. It was very well used too. And I was like, really? And he told me, and I said I must love him because I'm not holding against him. He was an Oakland Raider fanatic. Oh. Black and silver. It had to be something, so I had to, I worked with it and everything. And then don't let them make it to the playoffs. The toilet seats look like got Raider stuff on it. I got a Raider made. How do they make toilet paper holders? Remember the ones you saw in your grandma's bathroom? They crocheted. Why y'all? I could never understand why you cover up the toilet paper. You need the toilet paper. That's just.
You just have to put it in your face,
Well, they taught. I knew how to make one. I couldn't make one now if my life depended.
Yeah, you gotta make sure your representation is all the way
together. Well, and it's like, no, listen. I flunked cutting. I flunked cutting, and who flunks cutting? I flunked it. I cannot cut a piece of paper straight, even if it's got a ruler next to it. You know how you and somewhere I'm gonna go off and
right at the end of it, just right at the end of it.
And there was. Get the scissors away from the crazy lady. She can't cut. Now, I could tear a piece of paper. I could tear a piece of paper straight, look like it was cut. You give me some scissors. That's why when I was growing up, they wouldn't let me cut up the chicken. Because, when we was growing up, they had no chickens already cut up. You go buy the chicken, you get the whole chicken, then you got to cut it up into 8 pieces. Well, then they would cut the breast in half, so that would make 4 pieces. But I said, well, I can do that. I can be, your prep assistant. Sure, I can. Child, by the time I got finished cutting that chicken up, it was already dead. My mother came and she said, who butchered the chicken? They all called me. She did. And she was like, don't ever let her have the scissors again. She went to hold the chicken up. And someplace I must have missed a joint. And once I learned how to cut it up, it was easy. But she said, this ain't nothing but a rag bag of chicken. Wow. Don't think they didn't cook it. And it was good. I mean, you couldn't tell what piece you had. You couldn't tell a chicken leg from the bone in the chicken. and I could clean the carcass. Give me the turkey carcass, the chicken carcass. I will clean into the bones with it. That part I can do. But don't give me any scissors. I got like 15 pairs of scissors. One of these is gonna teach me how to cut.
Yeah, you gotta get better at your craft.
I just tear my wrapping paper, and I can wrap some presents. I call my room when it's Christmas Wrap Central. I'm in here knee deep in paper, writing grip. What is it? Gift paper, gift wrapping, and bows and ribbons, and everyone looks different every year. Oh wow! And I buy Christmas decorations in bulk. So, okay, hey, Miss Busby, what are your thoughts on? Okay,
it says, "What are your Mother Love? What are your thoughts on restaurants taking advantage of customers with poor quality and small amounts of food, charging ridiculous prices? I was robbed at Delicious at the Dunbar on Central Avenue in Los Angeles.
She done put them on
They have meat. They have meat particles of oxtails for $30 plus tax.
Shut the barn door.
I told them that I wanted to cancel the order. After looking at the plate, they wouldn't give me my money back. I do not support bad business. Manager was never available to speak with me. Do not patronize Delicious at the Dunbar. Poor customer service. None professional."
See, you can't treat people any kind of way because they will put you on blast. And what do I think about restaurants taking advantage of customers with poor quality and small amounts of food, charging ridiculous prices? You just said it right there in a nutshell. This is why I cook at home. That's why, and they'll say, "Oh, you could serve that in a restaurant." I said, "No, I couldn't, because I'd be to slap them in their mouth. They have something to say. No." So I wouldn't do well in the food service business. But I tell you, customer service in this country has sunk to an all-time low. Go restaurants like she was talking about. Were you gonna eat? No, I'm not. They got a restaurant downtown. Every Sunday they have a line around the door. And you would think when you see a restaurant with a line out the door and around the corner, they got to be serving some good food. So we decided we was going to stop in there one day after church. We got on our Sunday go-to-meeting clothes. And, people looking at us like we some kind of alien. Why they all dressed up like that? Women wore skirts. And so we stood in the line. We got there. It was our turn. We got a whack. We could smell the food. First thing my husband said was, "It smells funny." I said, "What you mean it smell funny?" He said, "This don't smell like our kitchen." I'm like, "Honey, because I'm not cooking the food." That's the reason why. And so we got close, and it was our turn to go in. And we were looking. They didn't have the menu up on the boards like they do now. So when he said, "It smelled funny," it was like, "Oh, this might be a problem." So I'm going to be a trooper. We go in. We sit down. We look at the menu. And he goes, "I don't think I would eat anything on this menu." I said, "Well, let's give it a try." So we ordered our food, and it came. It was it didn't look real appetizing, and they were serving something, and it was supposed to have gravy on it, but it looked like a brown plot. If you ever made paste when you was a kid, and it'd be that big glob, it looked like that on the plate. And they had some kind of sausage on it, and it didn't look like real meat. So Kennedy said, "I don't know if I want to eat that." And I'm like, your voice carries. And so the guy came over and he said, "So how is everything?" We go, I just shook my head. He said, "I don't like none of this." And he only tasted one spoon. And he said, "Oh, I'm going to pay for it. Don't think I ain't going to pay for it. Nobody's getting a tip for this. And I'm going to tell everybody I know, don't go to that nasty word." The food was not appetizing. And it smelled like they was cooking with, I don't want to say, it smelled like the meat that was cooking with was old. You know how you can smell old chicken? You could smell, and that's what it smelled like, old food.
Okay.
See, what's the worst one you ever went to?
Me personally, I want to give a beautiful shout out to the restaurants that are around the country and around the world, because everybody took a major hit during the COVID shuffle. So I definitely want to give a shout out to the restaurants that have made it through and who are surviving, who maintain their integrity as far as the business, as far as the quality and things like that. At the end of the day, I want to unshout out any restaurant any business out there that's just got bad practice, period. Like we have to talk and discuss with businesses that are not supporting or providing in the community. It is a very disheartening thing, because so many mom and pop restaurants took a major hit.
They did.
And so, yes, the prices got astronomically all the way out of control because they had to make up out of the red line. For 3 months, I remember that LA was shut down.
Yeah.
And I'm a food connoisseur. I love my vegan dishes. I've eaten in 46 states. I've eaten vegan dishes and all type of dishes inside of all of these different states. So for me, I appreciate good service. I am a great tipper. I do get to quality people that actually
do the work,
service and do the work. And so I understand if a business is in the red. I understand if a business, there's something that is going on that you need to change the trajectory of it. You need to downsize. You need to change minimize the amount of food that you have on your menu. There's so many different aspects as far as in cutting it down, because I do see shows like, Kitchen Nightmares and things like that, where people are struggling out here. Right. And it's been that difficult to bring that audience back inside, because now you have the conveniences of food delivery. I remember being out there during COVID and delivering these foods from delicious places. Mm-hmm. But I would have loved and enjoyed being in this restaurant to enjoy the place. Mm-hmm. So because I'm getting my food at home, that takes away from the whole experience. So the restaurant experience now has been devalued, no different from every other aspect in our livelihood right now. So I think we have to take in consideration that most of these restaurants are on the fritz. They are on the decline, because they have not been able to fully recover from the COVID shuffle. And so, but when your business is bad, like, it don't matter. Not all skin folk is kin folk.
Yeah, and please know that. Yeah. And there have been a lot of restaurants owned by African, especially the mom and pop stores. Yeah. And they, thank you very much. They said, you love my new look. This ain't new. Y'all know I get tired of hair and have to take it off. But I appreciate you saying I look good with my new look. How about that? And wait a minute, E-Groove's old school music says some of us need some cooking lessons because we don't know how to cook a lot of food. Mother Love, please have some very descriptive cooking classes on your YouTube channel.
So thank you, E-Groove. Thank you. We are going to,
because that's what we're doing. We're working on that.
We're make that happen.
We're coming out of the dark, as they say, because there's a lot of people who are hurting dearly, mm-hmm. and they just don't know where to go. And I know that was one of the biggest reasons we were able to survive, mm-hmm. through the pandemic. It wasn't the same as sitting with the guests and, being able to touch one mm-hmm. another and fellowship with one another, but we did what we could. And I learned about Zoom. Yeah. I learned about Zoom, and I've done Zoom calls, and they're very enlightening. Yeah. And whoever came up with that was a brilliant idea. Mm-hmm. See, you never know when you're going a brilliance is going to come to you to create an app that's going to help everybody. Yeah. Speaking of creating an app mm-hmm. that will help everybody, what is your take on AI? And how do you think it's going to help us be more creative? And do you think it was actually hinder people because it would make them brain lazy?
Their brain was already lazy.
I was trying to help y'all. I just cut to the chase. It was already lazy.
Your brain was already lazy. They scared of the AI because the AI is actually going to get up and do some work. Mm-hmm. So, we have been an enabled, entitled American adult baby daycare center. So it's just been so many people who have just been finding every reason and every comfort and convenience to just sit there and not want to get up and create no ingenuities, not really create any solutions to even circumvent even the transitions mm-hmm. that we're coming into, that because there's always obsolete. There's always something going obsolete. Right. So we have to understand that, hey, when something dies, something else grows. This is cyclical. So we got to understand that, hey, when things go, we need to help plant new seeds to help new things grow. And if we don't even water those new seeds or even cultivate them, and we get this technophobia or this ability to not actually utilize these systems within our livelihood, because it shouldn't take 7 to 10 business days for you to get your check. No. It shouldn't take 15 minutes for you to get your Western Union or money grab. So right. We have infrastructure, whether it's our roads. The 10 freeway collapsed, and they fixed it by Tuesday. And it wasn't like no little collapse. Yeah. This was a big giant chunk of the 10 freeway. That's the one that go all the way across the country, right? The 10 around Route 66 collapsed. We could not get to work. Nobody could move. And they said, and then they told the construction team that they got to fix it. They said the sooner you fix it, you'll get a really big bonus. I don't know how many millions they got in a bonus, but it hasn't collapsed since. And they knew to reinforce it to make it a lot stronger because, this is California. You never know when didn't you tell me the other day that there was some earthquakes out here in California? Yeah,
it was 30 in Japan.
It's my waterbed.
I'm just asking. So back to AI. Yeah. Do you think that it's going to make people mentally lazier because you can just ask it anything about anybody. You know,
I mean, we've had spurts of this going on for a long time. It's just now being fully implemented into our livelihood now. I think people just are having a very tough time to get acclimated, or even just education opens opportunities. The more you get educated on it, I think that will open up the opportunities. And like, it's a tool. It's no different from money. It's no different from a butter knife, making a sandwich or nicking somebody, So I think we need to understand that everything that we have in front of us, we have to take it as a grain of salt, or believe it or not believe it, however you want to take it. But there's things that we need to advance.
And we as a people, as a culture, need to advance and embrace it. Because when I got my first laptop computer, I let it sit in the box till it almost went obsolete. And they weren't making them that fast. They just wanted to get a personal computer in everybody's home. So my husband, the gadget fanatic that he is, he went out and got us a computer. Got us all the stuff, the fax machines and the monitors and blah, blah, blah. He goes, "Why aren't you using that?" I'm like, "'Cause Satan is in there."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, why can't you think that or know that God is in there?" I thought about it. I said, "Okay, so you don't have to go to the satanic route. Look for the good things on the internet." And then he became my friend. The internet, because you can find, and let me say, you can't find everything on artificial intelligence. That computer will come back and say, "We can find no results for what you're looking for, mother love." And I'll go, "Because you ain't as smart as I am." Like, he can talk back to me without me. Yeah. But that's a psychological thing.
You can only get an experience in an actual experience.
Yeah, well, you have to do it.
Yeah, you have to actually be out and be outside and experience the moments of life, because life is continuously moving. And I know that people are stuck in that addictive Kodak moment of life where, you get that Polaroid. Like, you got to stop and get out of that stop every moment and realize that the tools that we do have with artificial intelligence, it's been around. We've had
for
Siri,
a while.
We've had Alexa, we've had autonomous cars now. So I mean, people have gotten a lot more comfortable, and it's I wouldn't say slithered its way into, but
it's been methodical. This has been a very methodical move, to shift the paradigm of how Americans and the world will open up for AI. I was watching this show. I want to say it was on 60 Minutes, but I could be wrong. Where he was showing how they had a shot of what looked like Will Smith, and he was just stuffing himself with spaghetti, and he said, "Is that real?" He goes, "No, that's AI. Artificial intelligence could do that." And then he did another one. It must have been 60 Minutes, because I think he said, "Okay, tell the computer, tell me a story about Scott Pelley, just for the sake of the conversation." And let me tell you, I use it. And I'm telling you, it doesn't make my brain slow. It makes my brain move even faster, because I don't have to sit and be, am I going to say the right thing? And the fact that you can edit it, to add your personal touch to it. And he said something about Scott Pelley, and he said, it repeated his voice right back to him. He said, "What y'all need to understand too, that was one of the biggest reasons why why we went on strike, because the studios wanted to have control over our name, image, and likeness, and our voices as well, because they can mimic your voice. And can't nobody mimic my voice better than Whoopi Goldberg, so I don't know what they're going to do with her. They're going to get her to pretend to be me, but whatever. It's a way to, it's a tool. Like you said, it's a help tool.
I think it's able to just extract what we may be actually thinking in that moment, and it lays it out. I feel like we have to understand that these tools are going to help advance us in so many capacities. Like, I'm so grateful that we're not on the Oregon Trail and I don't have scurvy right now. Like, come on, people. Like, really?
But he did jump into a snowbank.
Check my
this is how you got to see.
It went viral in Idaho. Shout out to everybody in Idaho. But yeah.
And I don't know what made him think that was a good idea.
Oh, man, sometimes you just can't take yourself serious, And we take all this stuff serious, and people are going tripping crazy.
I don't get
over the littlest things that really are helpful for us. Like, when somebody's giving us words of wisdom, we think that is against us. Like, we think that's the
why are they talking about me? Why are you critiquing me?
Why are you trying to help me out? It's like,
why are you taking an interest in me?
Go bump your head.
Oh yeah, go pound sand. Mother love, we would love to have your healthy. Oh, see this mama like talking about cooking. Because now they want me to come to the Funk Explosion that's happening April 13th in North Las Vegas. Check it out, thefunkexplosion.com, and we'll have to talk to the peoples about that. They always say, just when they get me out, they pull me back in. It isn't that if people ain't like I did, and I've done it.
People can't cook right now. They have,
and that's what I don't understand. This is another thing. We have all of this technology. You got 11 cooking shows. You got another 11, cake boss, cake decorators, cake disaster, food disaster. How do you how can you not pay attention to that and not be able to cook? They got cookbooks every place. One of my favorite places to go for recipes, and this is a big shout out to all recipes. I like a lot of them out there. There's a young lady, I can't call her name. I'll look, y'all look it up. And these are young people who are showing other young people how to cook. They had a couple on one of them Food Network, and I'm watching them cook, and I was like, I wouldn't eat nothing they made. I wouldn't eat nothing they made. I would not eat that. And they used their hands. They didn't have on, gloves, like protective gloves while they fooling with the food. I'm like, how I know she wasn't
doing?
Yeah. Don't play
over your food.
Yeah,
I think it's just important because, like, I don't want to date nobody who can't cook. You're not gonna drain my pocketbook because you don't want to get up and actually learn something. But I understand that, like, food prices have gotten high. It's much more convenient. You can order stuff right there,
and they come right to your door.
Ding dong right to you right there. So it has made us. It's turned us into Wally,
like the little robot.
Yeah. So I mean, we are addicted to convenience, and it's the McDonald's effect. Like, everything that is convenient to us is right around the corner or is right there in the
across the street.
Don't nobody want to cook. It's smell-o-vision. You talking about AI?
How much can we make off of that one?
Billions of dollars are going into AI because it is transformative and it is changing and transitioning things. I work in the tech field, so
you know it's coming.
I know it's coming. Like, we see a lot of these things. So I mean, macro and microeconomics. People need to pay attention to that. You need to pay attention to economic policy. You need to pay attention to the tariffs and things like that. So when it comes to technology that's going on, is it moving fast? Is it moving slow? What's going on with the weather? Is it affecting the systems? Is it affecting
people are not looking at that, and the people that are looking at that, those of us who see it coming, it's not necessarily we can see the future, because you never know what's going to happen, because Amazon owns Alexa, right? Okay, and so I guess they decided that since 75 million people use Alexas, they should make money off of it. And they want to charge you a subscription. That idea didn't go over too well. It just didn't go over too well. And they're struggling whether or not. Would you pay for Alexis? Alexa, turn on the television.
I don't have a problem paying for a great product or service. If you're willing to put in front of me a great product and a great service, there's no problem for you being monetarily compensated for your products or your service.
But they're making money on their other products or services. This, to me, is like, and all these voice AI, it is at its finest. But you also, when you're talking about capitalism, you still have to make sure that your customer is pleased. You got to make sure that your audience is engaged. And when people with all these
perception that's told to us that we have to listen to our customers, because most people, they cooking that food, they ain't tripping about that customer. Oh, that food was good, I put my foot in it. No, you literally put your foot in it. I don't want to eat it, it's nasty, sir. Like, take it back. I don't want to eat that. But that's the problem that we're running into. We're in America, and we think that we're entitled to everything, so we need to cut it out.
We are. Well, not entitled to, but we have access to be able to live a life that we want to. And you gotta know, oftentimes there are haters out there who do not want to see you succeed. They don't. And they'd rather be filled with hatred and want to keep you on the beat down. And so that so you think you're second guessing yourself about what your assignment is. That's why you got to be able to decide, make a decision, an informed decision. And personally, I don't know if I would pay for Alexa. I mean, they had this one app, Because, people will go on at night. They be half drunk, half sleep. Got a glass of wine in here. I think I want to get that. Let me get that. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's pretty. And then you look up and you got a $700 bill. Yeah. When did that happen? You look at the time. Oh, that was at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was still sleeping one off. And have all these subscriptions to things that you don't even use. You're just giving these people money, and they know that.
Yeah.
These companies know that. What she say, Joanne says, I'm from old school. I do my own shopping and cooking. That's my girl. When these people can't cook, it's bad nutrition. It really is. And, stopping at the fast food restaurant is not for you. We have to do our list another day. We just got all carried away and was having fun with everybody. Tell people how they can check you out, Mr. Prime Black.
I am Googleable. Prime Black, PRIMEBLAQ.
And you know where I am. I'm at the Mother Love Show. And that's why it's healthy to cook for yourself. Cooking shows on TV. Yeah. I like them. My favorite is Divers Drives, and the one with Guy Fieri.
Oh yeah,
he cracks me. He another one got a hollow leg. He'll eat anything.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Gordon Ramsay fan. I've watched a lot of his stuff. I love his shows. I love the wittiness, the teamwork, try to bring everybody together, and just the no nonsense rule. I'm a no nonsense guy. Uncle Trey don't play.
Uncle Trey don't play. Mother Love is allergic to BS. Put up the sign for what we're supposed to do, where they can get our social media posts. That's where you can find Mother Love right there. On Facebook, on X, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and Indeed, and some other stuff too that we do. And remember this, babies, no matter how short or tall, big or small, thick or thin, matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some Mother Love now and then. Even Trey, when he plays.
I need some.
Yeah, and we all need love. Yes, you need love. Okay, I won't use my singing voice no more. Thank you, babies. Have a good one. Enjoy yourselves and stay safe, people. And if y'all get some,